right, I have Leila Grey here. I am Avi from Figure Fight Club. So, Leila, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Avi. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for
Thank you
doing
for
the
having
interview.
me.
Yep, thank you for doing the interview with me. I mean, it's very special. It's my first interview, so I'm very excited and nervous. I didn't even turn on the light.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Well, I'm glad to be your first interviewee. Ready to have some fun.
All right. So, who is Leila Grey? Tell me who she is.
Leila Grey. Well, Leila Grey is a girl from New York City who has a lot of dreams and ambition. She's just, a badass, tough chick, always gets back up, does what she has to do. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm talented, creative. I like to express myself, and I don't take no for an answer.
I mean, you've had a big history in, entertainment. You've been in music. You've been in music videos, radio. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, well, I've always loved entertaining people. I've worked in a lot of different fields in entertainment. I've done music. I'm a singer. I've done acting as well. I model. I went to college, got a bachelor's in broadcasting, and I was also doing radio work. And yeah, so ever since I was little, I just always loved performing. I loved singing. That was my first love.
Mhm.
Me and my mom, we have so many beautiful memories singing and dancing together. And I just always grew up performing in school, dance recitals. I've
Okay.
worked on independent films, doing some acting work. And yeah, that also led me to do modeling. While I was in Miami, I got to work on a lot of major music videos, and it was just an incredible experience. And all of those things that I did led me to pro wrestling and becoming Leila Grey.
Okay. Okay. So, what are some of the movies you've been in?
Some of the movies, well, they're mostly like short films or
Like
in the independent
Independence? Yeah.
independent films. Yeah. I'm working, I just wrapped up one called Mixtape, and it's
Okay.
like a hip-hop drama. It hasn't been released yet. We wrapped up a few months ago, so it's still in the final
Production.
editing stages.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I worked on cute little comedy skits. One is called Clean Up on Aisle 9. I played a high school cheerleader. So I played some fun roles. Some
Okay.
fun roles.
Okay. Well, I mean, you were talking about your mom and music. So, how was she an influence to you?
Well, when my mom is also a singer, well, she loves to sing.
Mhm.
So I think that's where I got my talents from. And
Passes down.
I I grew up loving Selena. My mom
Mhm.
loves Selena as well. She introduced me to Selena's music, and we would just always sing and dance together in the living room. And Selena was such a big inspiration to me, and she's kind of the one that inspired me to pursue music. And
Mhm.
from then on, I just kept on singing.
Okay. I did actually check out some of your songs on YouTube. I
Oh,
did like
yeah.
there was one I really liked. Was it Remedy? Remedy?
Remedy,
Yeah,
yes. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
really
that
did
was
enjoy
fun.
that one. Yeah, that was a
I
good
like
song.
Remedy. I definitely had a lot of a good time recording
Okay,
that one.
okay, okay. Now, you're talking about your childhood. So you're in the wrestling business today, and were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Semi. I wasn't like a huge wrestling fan, but I did grow up watching some wrestling in late 90s, early 2000s, attitude era stuff. I really love
Hmm.
The Rock, and I love China. Um, I have a cousin, and he was a big wrestling fan when we were kids, and he's kind of the one that introduced me to wrestling. And from then on, like me, my siblings, my cousins, we always loved wrestling each other. Trying different moves and holds on the bed, and it kind of started from there. But never would I imagine that I would actually end
Be a
up
wrestler.
pursuing pro wrestling.
Okay, okay. So you talked about The Rock, China. What about today? Who are some of the influences in your life today?
Today, well, I really love Sasha Banks. I
Hmm.
just love everything, her looks, her skills. She's so talented, charismatic. She's killing it right now.
She
And
is.
that's kind of where I see myself in the
Okay.
future. So I definitely look up to her a lot. I love Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins
Hmm.
is extremely talented, cuts amazing promos, just all around amazing entertainer. So those are definitely my top two at the moment.
Top two. Okay. Seth Rollins is a great wrestler, and then same with Sasha Banks. I totally agree with that. Actually, Sasha Banks is actually probably like one of my top female performers, actually.
Yeah, she's
So
the best. That's why she's the boss.
mm, exactly. So you've been wrestling since what I think my research said October of 2020.
Well, that yes, that's when I made my official pro wrestling debut.
Hmm.
I began training about a year before that.
A year
Uh,
before that. So who trained
yes,
you?
I was originally trained by JB Cool and Soul Man Alex G
Hmm.
and Fighting Evolution Wrestling. From then on, I trained for a little bit with Gangrel and Alex Porto. And yeah, I would say those are the main trainers that I've worked with.
Okay, okay, and that was all in the COVID era.
Yes, that was in the COVID era. Well, the first school that I was with, my first two trainers, that was during the COVID era. I made my debut during the pandemic, so it was a close set with only a few people in there, and it was weird.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
I
crazy,
agree.
but I mean, I didn't have anything to compare it to really because I hadn't performed in front of a crowd. So when I finally got to perform in front of a live audience, which was like a few months after that, that's when I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And it was a lot different.
Okay, okay. Now, do you still talk to your trainers today?
I talked to some of them.
Some of them. Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. It's, like for me, it's like, someone who's trained you and kind of been there for you, put you in that, in that sense of business. I personally talk to my mentors today. So I was
Yes.
just curious if that's something similar in the wrestling business
No,
where you
yes,
do.
I definitely do have mentors in the business that I talk to. Alex Porto is one of them.
Mhm.
He has really helped me a lot in my career, and he helped me branch out. And so I definitely owe him a lot.
Okay, okay. Now, you said your debut match. Where was that at? What promotion?
My debut match was for Fighting Evolution Wrestling in October of 2020. And yeah, it was COVID. We couldn't rent a venue. It took place in a little warehouse, set up some cameras, set up an entrance, and we went out there, did our thing, had some cool lights, fog machine. We were able to put on a show with what we had. And it was amazing. Like I think back on those times, and I mean, it was just like a year ago, but so much has changed since then that it kind of
Mhm.
seems like it was longer. And it was just so much fun. Just so much fun being a part of the production and creating this show and debuting and just watching my career take off from there.
Yeah, I mean, who did you wrestle?
I wrestled Chelsea Durden. She's another independent wrestler from the
Mhm.
Florida area.
Okay, okay. Now, you know, I guess it was closed. It was closed doors. Obviously, there was no fans in the crowd. I'm assuming. So, like, how does it feel today? Like, it's different because I saw you yesterday, wrestling in front of a crowd and people chanting, booing, whichever. How is that different today as a feeling?
Well, it differs because I mean you feed off of the energy of the crowd. The fans they kind of boost you up and give you energy and encourage you, whether they're cheering or booing.
Hmm.
You just love that fan interaction. So just going out there and hearing them cheering for me or even booing for me, and just me being able to talk smack to them, like I love that. And I feel like that's what makes a great match, when the fans are invested
Mhm.
in what you're doing. So, I mean, just having the fans there, it really gives me more confidence, because when you're wrestling in a closed set, you don't know if what you're doing is good, and you're not getting feedback. So
Yeah.
from the fans, you get that feedback, and it's great, and you learn a lot from that.
That's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, yesterday you tore it up. I loved it. Uh,
Thank you.
I'll openly admit the fact that I only showed up for you, just to meet you mostly, but no, it was fun. It was a good show. And it's
Thank
independent wrestling. I
you.
love it.
Yes, I
Um,
appreciate you being there too.
yeah, it was great. So who's one of the favorite wrestlers you've wrestled today? Like, or I guess just in general in the ring.
Some of my favorite wrestlers. Well, I had the opportunity to wrestle Thunder Rosa twice.
Mhm.
And Thunder Rosa is definitely someone that I look up to. She's such a helping hand in the business and for the women's division. So anytime that I get to work with her, it is always an honor, and it's always a teaching moment for me. So she's definitely one of my favorites, absolutely, to work with. Somebody else, let's see, who do I like to work with? Um, I I've only worked Renee Michelle once, but we had a really great time when we had a match, and she's definitely someone that I look forward to wrestling again. She's
Mhm.
a lot of fun. We have a lot of things in common. So a lot of times when we hang out, we always share cute and creative ideas, like we should do this for the future. We always talk about possibly creating a tag team. So I
Okay.
mean, you never know, that might be something that can
Down the
happen.
line, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree. Now, when it comes to promotions, what promotion what's one of your favorites so far?
When it comes to promotions, definitely Mission Pro Wrestling has been
Mhm.
one of my favorites to work for. It's led by Thunder Rosa. It's an all-female promotion, all women, commentary, announcers, everything. So that's definitely a great one. Whenever I get that chance, I always look forward to returning to Mission Pro. The fans are amazing. They're so supportive. They love buying your merch. So it's just always an all-around great experience to be working
Mhm.
for them. I would say another promotion that I love working for is Coastal Championship Wrestling, CCW. Uh, they're based in South Florida, and they've been around for a long time. And they have some loyal, diehard fans that have been with them for years. So
Mhm.
whenever we work one of their shows, it's just always high energy, and just always an amazing time. Like I love doing that show.
Okay, okay. I mean, having the fan interaction, I'm sure it's awesome, amazing feeling. I was actually at a Mission Pro wrestling event just on Saturday as well because I met Thunder Rosa, which was great. She was great, phenomenal. Uh,
Yes, they were out there in North Carolina
they were,
the day
and I
before. Yes.
had to take an opportunity to meet them too. So it was great, great show. Now let's talk about training. So, being an athlete, a wrestler, you have to be training when you're not
Yes.
traveling.
Uh-huh. Yes, which is tough because with a busy schedule, you have to try to squeeze that in. I
Mhm.
spent a lot of time on the road. This weekend, I took many flights and went to different places, did signings, did multiple shows. So it's been kind of crazy. But when I find some time, definitely gotta go to the gym,
Mhm.
gotta get in the ring. Um, I like going around to kind of different training facilities when I
Okay.
can.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So who do you train with generally?
Who do I train with?
Hmm.
Well, I've done a couple sessions with Loki,
Okay.
who is, yeah, he's been around for a long time, very well known and respected in the business. Uh, I'll do some sessions with Alex Porto. I've done some training sessions at his school at Pro Wrestling 2.0 in Orlando. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately. Sometimes the CCW. ring as well. So yeah, I kind of hop around a lot because I travel. So
No, I get
just
that. No.
just try to find somewhere to go.
Yeah, I know, totally understand.
Yes,
Now,
I recently moved from Miami to Orlando because there's just a lot more wrestling going on out here. So I'm hoping to just be a little bit more stable
mhm. Okay.
with the training. Yeah.
Okay. So now, we're coming up with a training. So talking about trainings. So when your finishing move, how did you think of it?
The double underhook face buster to the knee. It was actually given to me by my first trainer.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then I like the move. I like the move, and it kind of reminded me of Triple H's pedigree. So
I noticed that. Yeah, a little bit.
so it's a badass move. And yeah, I mean, after learning it and practicing it and using it a couple times, it felt good. So just
Mhm.
I've stuck with it. I've stuck with it. Hasn't let me down. Has not let me down yet.
There you go. Now, you're on AEW Dark and Elevation. That's great to see you on TV. When you got that phone call, what was your reaction?
Oh my God. When I got that phone call, I had just started a new job, a new
Mhm.
waitressing job. And I think it might have been like my first or second day. And I got this message. It was a Facebook message, asking me if I was interested in doing Targ. And oh my God, my heart sank. I started sweating and panicking. I was so nervous and so excited. And I immediately called my boyfriend and let him know. And I'm like, look at this message, send him the screenshot. And I'm like, is this real? Like, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, lots of things going through my mind. I was still really new in the business. So, a lot of things going through my mind, excited, nervous, scared. Am I ready?
Mhm.
Lots of questions. So yeah, it was unbelievable. And the fact that I was at this new job, I'm like, I just got like the best news of my life thus far. And I don't really have anybody to share with because I don't know any of these people. So I couldn't wait to get home and I only told a few people because I didn't, I don't like to talk too much
Bad juju too. So
about
yeah.
what I'm doing. Exactly. So, but I couldn't wait to get home and talk about this news with
Mhm.
my boyfriend Luke Curtis, who was also another wrestler.
I liked his shoes
So
actually.
yeah,
I met him too.
yes, just letting the fans know. So yeah, so I mean, he was extremely excited for me. He knows the business, so he was very supportive, very excited, and he helped give me confidence because I'm
Mhm.
like, am I ready for this? Everything just kind of happened so fast, but I knew I was not going to say no. I knew I was going to take this opportunity because I don't back down from an opportunity, especially not
Mhm.
something like that. So I went, did what I have to do, did the job, and Leila Grey's been back ever since.
How was your first match at AEW?
My first match was against Ty Conti, and I think it was a good match. I think it was a pretty good match. It is still to this day one of my favorite dark matches.
Okay.
It was great working with her. She's an excellent worker, and yeah, I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot from her because now we were on the big stage, so it was different than working other wrestlers that I've worked on the independent scene.
Mhm.
So I definitely learned a lot from her.
I mean, I guess
She brought it.
it's a different world seeing in the national level, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that's great. I guess one of the other questions. So, have you ever had an embarrassing moment in the ring?
Yes. Um, so when I first started, I used to wear hair extensions
Hmm.
and for wrestling, which is a bad idea
Yes.
unless you got that braid it in real well or glued down, do not do it. So I used to wear hair extensions that were just kind of clipped in and just kind of had like a string pulling it together, holding it together. And yes, during one of my matches, things got a little rough and crazy. And during one of our little hair pulling scenarios there, the hair just comes off. And I was just like, how the hell do I save this moment? So I just grabbed the hair, started choking her with it and try to make the best of the situation.
So you just brought it right into the action, right?
Right into the action. But oh my God, in my head, I was like, holy crap, that was bad. That was bad. And it's somewhere on the internet.
I'm going to go look for it, actually.
Oh God.
It'd be fun to find out. Where was that at?
Yeah. But yes, that was definitely one of my favorite, no, not one of my favorites, but it was definitely a teachable moment. My most embarrassing. And since that moment, I have not worn any fake hair in the ring.
Yeah. No, I mean, you would think you would know it would come out eventually. Right?
I know, but you know what? I was wrestling already for like months with it and it hadn't let me down since. And then that day, I don't know what happened. Okay. It was not secure. Something went wrong.
Yeah, at least it was a learning experience. Now
something went wrong. My opponent just ended up with my hair in her hand and she didn't know what to do either. She was looking at it like, and I just snatched it from her, put it around her neck and just try to make it a thing.
There you go. Now, you've kind of wrestled all over the country practically. Is there any state, you want to wrestle in that you haven't had the opportunity to yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, I still have a lot of places in the country to wrestle. I wrestled a lot on like the East Coast. I haven't done anything West Coast. So I'm definitely looking forward to going to that side of the country and, just letting them know about me and who I am. And, I want to learn about their wrestlers too. I don't really know too many West Coast workers. So definitely want to go out there, do something out in California, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Okay. You know what looks fun? Hood Slam. Have you heard of them?
I have not. I'm going to check it out though.
I know like Shotzi Blackheart used to do some work with them. Look it up. I think they used to be in like Oakland or something like that. I don't know, but it looks so much fun. I'm like, I would definitely do something like that.
For sure. I'll personally find them for sure. What do you do for fun? Like when you're not wrestling, traveling, doing everything else that you need to do, what do you do for fun?
Well, I'm a tropical girl, so I enjoy doing things out in the sun. I love swimming. So whenever I have a chance to lay out by the pool or go to the beach, I love that. I love being in the water. I love tanning, being in a bikini, drinking with a drink in my hand, I like hanging out and relaxing. Like when I think about me, like at peace and relaxing, I always picture myself like somewhere by the water. Okay. So I definitely love doing water activities. I love going out to eat. That's definitely one of my favorite things to do.
Okay. Is there any specific restaurants or type of food that you like to eat?
No, not anything specific because I like a lot of different things. I get cravings for a lot of different things. Sometimes it's my Italian craving when I want, pasta or pizza and things that are cheesy. I also love a good steak. So I get in the moods for that. Some steak and mashed potatoes and I love seafood and I love Mexican. And yeah, so I love a lot of different types of food. Okay. I don't really have a favorite category because they're just so good. I love mostly anything with meat and cheese. I'm in for.
That's most people actually.
Yeah.
Now, someone who's breaking into the business today, what advice would you give them?
What advice I would give? I would tell someone breaking into the business to just stick through it. Because when I started in the business, I had a lot of doubts. I was not really any good. I didn't really have a background in sports like that. So it was really hard. It was really challenging for me. And thankfully, I stuck through it because, I mean, quitting definitely crossed my mind. But I'm glad that I stuck through it. And, now I am beginning to see the benefits of that hard work. So just stick through it and work hard. Do not give up, because as long as you work hard, you're going to make it somewhere.
Okay. Now, a lot of fans don't actually understand the life of the indie wrestler. So let them know, what is the life of an indie wrestler?
The life of an indie wrestler. You're traveling a lot. You're exhausted. You don't have a lot of money. It's hard. It's mentally draining, but it is extremely rewarding, and it's so amazing. It's so exciting, and you get so much confidence from it. And it's just, it's a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows, but it is the greatest, coolest thing in the world. Like, I wouldn't say I have any regrets in life, but I do wish that I would have discovered pro wrestling earlier in life, because it has truly changed my life, like complete 180 from the person that I used to be. It's just made me so much tougher, so much more confident, so much more motivated. I have a clear goal. I have a plan. I have tunnel vision. It's made me work out more. It's made me eat better, just change my lifestyle. It just has benefited my life in so many amazing ways. And it's just the greatest, coolest business that you could ever be in.
I'm going to jump on the goals topic. So what are some of your goals in the business?
Some of my goals, well, definitely a contract. I want to get signed. I want to do this full time and, not have to worry about a lot of the outside noise. I want to do this full time. I know that. And, I want to see how far I can go. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be champion for a major company. I see myself doing that. I see myself achieving that, accomplishing those goals. I feel that I am a star. And that's what I see in my future.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you definitely are a star. I mean, you're very talented. It's funny because, like, a lot of people don't understand, like, the struggles. I've never been a wrestler, but I was very close to friends who have been independent wrestlers or still are independent wrestlers. So I talk to them all the time, and they tell me their struggles of, like you said, traveling everywhere, finding an opportunity to train. And then on top of that, it's, independent wrestling, especially the smaller shows, promotions, you're not getting really paid that much money. So it's definitely tough. So
yes,
I definitely understand where you're coming from there.
Absolutely. It is not easy. It is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
In so many different ways.
Now, you talked about a long-term contract. Somewhere big. Is there a preference?
Is there a preference? Well, I mean, considering that I am already doing work with AEW, I would absolutely love to go there. I love the locker room. I love the staff. I love the people there. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to be there right now and just learn from all these amazing, talented, great wrestlers, and it has been an amazing learning experience. I would love to have a contract to go to AEW.
You hear that?
For
AEW,
sure.
sign her now.
Yes.
Let's talk about future events. So are there any other promotions coming up in the future for you?
Yes. So next Sunday, I actually have a show, Pro Wrestling Action, in Sanford, Orlando. I get to do a little tag team action, which I don't get to do too often. So I'm excited for that because I do like working with others and partnering up and all that stuff. That's a great show that I have coming up. And what's great about that show is that that is the only promotion that I actually have another gimmick, another personality. I'm like a cowgirl there. So yeah, I get to do something different there, which is it's fun for me to switch it up sometimes.
Okay, so you have the two personas then.
Yes, I have another persona.
Okay. Now, I think I heard somewhere in an interview that you make your own outfits.
I make some of my outfits. Well, yeah, I make some of my outfits. The main one that you guys see me in the yellow, that one I did not create. But there's a new one that I've kind of been rocking. That's like a blue two-piece with what is it, cheetah or leopard? I don't know, some type of prints. Anyways, that one I created on my own. So yeah, I've always kind of been creative when it comes to like creating costumes. That's the only wrestling gear that I've made, but throughout my life I made a lot of like Halloween costumes. I love like putting stuff together and getting creative, so I used to make a lot of my own Halloween costumes, and that's why I kind of started experimenting with the gear, and I kind of want to learn how to do it a little more. I want to take up sewing and really learn how to perfect the gear.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be really tough, actually.
I know. Yes, it sounds tough, but I mean, I find that stuff fun and kind of like therapeutic when I'm just there, just focused on making this, and I'm gluing the stones down, and I actually enjoy that stuff.
I personally like the snake skin. My favorite.
The snake skin?
So, yeah.
Yes, I like the snake skin too. But yeah, I like to switch it up. So we'll see if I bring the snake skin back. I have a new print in mind.
Okay.
That I want to start using.
Now, we're gonna wrap up the interview now. So, is there anything you want to say to the fans, to anyone else out there?
Yes, guys, please follow me on social media. My Instagram and Twitter is at Miss_Leila Grey. That's MISS_Leila Grey. I'm also on Facebook, Miss Leila Grey as well. So search for me on there, connect with me. I also want to let you guys know that I am now on Cameo. So if you guys would like any personalized messages from me, please let me know. Also, most recently, I opened my pro wrestling tee store. So I am there. My store is the Leila Grey. So I have some t-shirts for sale, guys. And yeah, I just want to put that out there and hope to see some of you guys rocking my merch.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this interview. I'm Avi from Figure Fight Club. We'll definitely be in contact. Maybe we'll do a round two.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, guys.